On Global TV News Express, President Tinubu approves release of 120 billion naira for technical vocational education training. In business, Shatima urges MDAs to support business in Nigeria through data sharing and dialogue. On the foreign scene, Colombia declares national emergency as yellow fever kills 34. In sports, Arena's loss seals World Cup heartbreak for Africa. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276, and free to air on NigeComSat. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 120 billion naira to the Federal Ministry of Education to advance the ministry's technical and vocational education and training agenda. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, stated this in her speech at the commissioning of the Community and Education Center in Ikotabasi, Akwa Ibom State. This came as the federal government prepares to empower at least 650,000 youths with the technical, vocational and digital skills required to meet emerging industrial and labor needs. The 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage has been successfully concluded in Abuja, Nigeria, with a team tackling irrigation development and water management crisis in Africa. The conference brought together experts, policymakers, and stakeholders from across the continent to address pressing challenges in water management and agricultural sustainability. Here is Godwin Sunday's report.
The Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, has called for an urgent need for innovative strategies to transform irrigation system across Africa. He highlighted the continent's challenges, including inadequate infrastructure, financial constraint, and government issues, urging collaborative effort to overcome these barriers.
And number 1 SDG is on poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 13, climate action. When we talk about water scarcity, people have inadequate access to water for irrigation in agricultural zones, which by extension limits food production and thereby exacerbating hunger and malnutrition.
Throughout the conference, participants engaged in technical sections, policy dialogues, and site visits to key irrigation zones across Nigeria. Discussion centered on sustainable agriculture, climate resilience, and enhancing food security. Speaking during the panelist section, Dr. Mike Smith, the Director General of the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting smallholder farmers.
Many progress has been made. There are 2 things very quickly, and we can come back upon later. First of all, there's too much discrepancy between the urban areas and the rural areas. Significant increase has been done in the urban areas, peri-urban areas, but so much needs to be done, especially in the rural areas. Second thing, very quickly, we need to have access to data. As it always has been said, you cannot manage what you cannot control.
On the other hand, Dr. Mako Asari, president of ICEED, also pledged its commitment to boost livelihood and strengthen agricultural economies.
Poverty rates in rural areas remain stubbornly high. And one of the things highlighted in this conference is water can really make a difference to progress with that challenge. And in particular, we must think of water and irrigation development in terms of driving transformation through water.
The patriot of ACID, Dr. Suleiman Hassan Adamu, the immediate past Minister of Water Resources, thanked all participants and urged them to indigenousize what has been learnt.
Unfortunately, our efforts as you well know, to try to get the proper legal backing under a new consolidated water resources bill didn't yield fruit because some politicians thought it meant something else. And despite all our efforts to make the country educated about what this bill is and what it means to the people of this country, emotions prevailed over common sense.
As the conference concludes, stakeholders express optimism that the resolutions and partnership formed will pave the way for a more sustainable and food security in Africa. Godwin Sunday reporting for
Youth involvement in crime is on the rise, and the growing trend is sparking serious concern across the nation. From petty theft to cyber fraud and violent offenses, the signs are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe was on the streets of Owerri, the Imo State capital. Here is her report.
We move into the streets of Owerri. The streets echo with conversations about the root causes. Many residents blame widespread unemployment, deepening poverty, and the pressure to keep up with peers. Others point to the relentless pursuit of quick money as a dangerous motivator, leading young people astray.
Poverty, unemployment, they've been addicted to drug or drug abuse, and also societal negligence.
The hardship in the country is one of the major reasons why youths go into crime. Another angle is also when pressure group trying to meet up with some certain things that life can offer makes youth go into crime.
Well, nowadays youth don't want to work. They are looking for sharp money. So most of them go into money rituals. They do Yahoo, some are doing runs. The new name they're calling now is hookup girls.
Public affairs analyst Fidel Onyeneke says the solution lies in targeted policies that empower the youth, giving them opportunities to thrive within the system rather than outside it.
We have not mainstreamed the activities and development of youth in our governance, act of governance, in our policies and so on. There are certain policies that we are supposed to make that will make the youth appreciate the fact that they are part of the society. Regrettably and unfortunately, such policies are not being implemented, even when we have them in the country. For any society to make it, for any government to achieve anything, you must mainstream the development of youth in the act of governance.
Traditional ruler of Avon Autonomous Community, Eze Mike Okere, believes tackling drug abuse and engaging young people in meaningful ventures are critical steps in addressing the crisis.
If you want to curtail crime in the society, first thing, curtail drug. So once we can curtail the amount of drug coming into the society, you see, the boys will go sober. And there are a lot of ways to rehabilitate these youths. It's a very simple way. You can rehabilitate them. Take them, I told you, you can rehabilitate these children. Take them, give them vocational training, mentoring training, craft, so many things. And at the end of the day, they can come out becoming good people.
Addressing youth crime means more than just an arrest. It requires mentorship, job creation, and a society that gives its youth a reason to believe. In Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV.
The factional chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Aljibrin Doguwa, has defended the recent visit to the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje by some members of the party as a deliberate attempt in the best interest of the party. Addressing a news conference, Doguwa says the party leadership in Kano is fully aware of the visit to Ganduje by Kawu Sumaila-led group. Global TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Senator Kawu Sumaila and some other lawmakers from the opposition New Nigeria People's Party in Kano paid a special visit to the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, a visit that generated concern among party supporters in Kano, but not among the party leadership. According to the chairman, the visit is meant to foster political collaboration between the NNPP and the APC at both state and national level, stressing that it's too early to start speculating.
Going around in the media, outfit, especially in social media, that our children, that is our sons, Senator Kaus Mela, Honorable Kabir Al-Asararun, Honorable Alamadaki, Honorable Badamasi Dambata, and Honorable Abdullah Sanurogo were in APC National Chairman's house. I want to make it clear that at least they went to APC's National Chairman house with our consent. Why we allow them to go is we want them to go and start discussing, because politics is not, politics is about inclusiveness. We want at least to start discussing on way forward.
The party leadership therefore confirms that the Kawu Sumaila-led group visit to Ganduje is fully endorsed by the executive of the party in Kano, bearing in mind the interests of their constituencies.
This politics is about what? It's about game of number. It's about interest. It's about interest. So Kabiru and others, they have their own interests. They have the interests of the people they are representing, and they have the interests of those that, the area that equally they are representing. So at least whatever they are discussing, if it is for the good of the people they are representing, if it is for the good of the area they are representing, I think we have the mandate they have our own mandate to pursue those discussions with the APC National Chairman.
While political atmosphere begins heating up in Kano, there are expectations that the El Jibrin-led NNPP may likely decamp to the APC in the near future. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
11 people have been confirmed dead, with several others missing following a late-night attack in Otobiakpa, a community in Otukpo local government area of Benue State. Gunmen reportedly opened fire on residents and set homes ablaze. Governor Hyacinth Alia disclosed this to newsmen at the government house in Makurdi while expressing grief over the incident. Felicity Indere reports.
The prolonged insecurity in Benue State continues to plague local communities. Otobiakpa in Otukpo local government is the latest to come under attack, largely by suspected herders men. Governor Hyacinth Alia confirmed the death of 11 persons, with others still unaccounted for, describing the situation as devastating.
Can we say that this correlates what is happening in Plateau? We've had a number of attacks, but I can say for certain that what we see in the front lines now, Nate, these horrible, terrible fighters are in the front lines. They come and they kill any person, irrespective of ethnicity, on their way. So they kill them, all the residents run away, they go back a few weeks, and then they come in full-fledged for occupation. This is land grabbing.
The governor, in his lamenting state, described the incident as horrific and heartbreaking, saying many parts of the community have been deserted after the attackers overwhelmed residents.
It's reported by the very victims that it is the armed herders who came to attack them. What I know for the record is we're now realizing that there was some bit of a threat that came out. Someone sent a message, one of the claimed herders who had lived down there with the people for a very long time, for some reason sent out some message to one of his friends, an indigenous friend, that they were going to attack. And yesterday it happened. We've been having challenges with this axis. If you hear of any kidnapping by Otukpo local government, this is the axis. We are experiencing the new face of these attacks.
Governor Alia assured the public that search and rescue efforts are ongoing, He therefore called on residents to remain vigilant and to report any suspicious activities to the police, military and local vigilante groups. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, Global TV News.
The Nigerian Army has appointed Lieutenant Colonel Onyechi Anele as the acting director of Army Public Relations. She is the first woman to occupy the position. Anele, a member of Direct Regular Course 15 and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Her appointment takes effect from April 22nd, 2025. In a bid to solidify the partnership fostered through the Nigerian-South African Binational Commission, recently inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu and President Cyril Ramaphosa, the ministers of solid minerals of both nations have signed a memorandum of understanding outlining key areas of cooperation, complete with implementation timelines. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
During a bilateral meeting in his office in Abuja, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, hosted South Africa's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwande Matashi. Dr. Alake described the engagement as a milestone in deepening bilateral relations, especially in the vital mining sector. Reflecting on the historical ties between the two countries, Alake noted the long-standing diplomatic and economic cooperation built on the mutual respect and a shared vision for Africa's development. He stressed that collaboration in the mining sector offers vast opportunities for industrialization, job creation, and sustainable growth across the continent.
As we proceed, like I said, let us remain guided by the principles of mutual benefit. It is through this principle of mutual benefit that the rest of Africa can also benefit. So aim to strengthen our capacity building through these collaborative efforts and meetings. We need to strengthen our technical and regulatory frameworks through joint training and research initiatives.
Alake says the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding in geology, mining, and mineral processing will serve as a cornerstone for facilitating knowledge and technology transfer, investment promotion, capacity building, regional integration, as well as value addition. He emphasized Nigeria's renewed focus on developing its mining industry, stating that South Africa could benefit from Nigeria's vast mineral wealth, while Nigeria could tap into South Africans' advanced mining expertise,
which is sharing best practices in exploration, in extraction, and beneficiation to enhance efficiency and sustainability. Also is geared towards investment promotion, encouraging cross-border investments in mining projects and downstream industries.
In his remarks, South Africa's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwande Matashi, affirmed that South Africa, where mining plays a central role in the economy, stands to gain from Nigerians' revitalized interest in the sector. He added that his visit aims to fine-tune agreement from the Binational Commission and to deepen collaboration on mutually beneficial projects with Nigeria's Ministry of Solid Minerals Development.
South Africa can find each other and work together, I can assure you Africa will be different. I'm making this point because we're in a continent which is the least developed continent in the world. We're very rich in mineral resources and oil and gas.
Both ministers committed to sustained engagement and collaborations to boost intra-African trade and deliver on the actionable steps outlined in the MOU. They expressed confidence that this renewed partnership would significantly enhance the mining sectors of both countries. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, says the tax reform bill will curb poverty and empower ordinary Nigerians. Oyedele made this known at the Spokesperson Summit organized by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in Abuja. He expressed strong optimism about the sweeping changes the bill will bring, especially for the low-income earners and small businesses across the country. The People's Democratic Party Governors Forum has expressed solidarity with suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara amid his ongoing ordeal, including his suspension and the declaration of a state of emergency. The governors who met in Ibadan, Oyo State, urged the federal government to address the alarming insecurity across the country. Ramsey Enoch Agbo has details.
It is a convergence of state executives under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, and they have converged on Nigeria's southwest political capital, Ibadan, to deliberate on how best to reposition the nation's major opposition party ahead of future elections. The governors went into a closed-door meeting, after which they briefed the e-newsmen on the outcome of the resolutions reached during their meetings.
Speculation about the possible merger of political parties, groups, and/or associations, the forum resolved that the PDP will not join any coalition or merger. However, the PDP, as a major opposition party, welcomes any party, persons, or groups that are willing to join it with a view to wresting power and enthroning good leadership in 2027.
In addition, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) governors addressed issues relating to the smooth running of its party, while it also lamented what it termed the worsening security situation in parts of the country, calling on the federal government to look into the matter and check the needless loss of innocent lives.
The forum finds alarming the worsening security situation in the country, as evidenced in parts of the country, especially Borno, Plateau, Katsina, and Edo states. The forum calls for the review and reordering of priorities and strategies, including adopting a bottom-up template that guarantees the subnationals to constitute an effective line of defense against security breaches.
Present at the meeting were host Governor Sheyi Makinde, Governor of Bauchi State Bala Mohammed, Peter Mba of Enugu State, Agbu Kefat of Taraba State, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State, amongst others, while governors of Delta and Akwa Ibom states were represented by their deputies. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
In a decisive step to enhance emergency response capabilities and strengthen community safety, the Nigerian Air Force has unveiled the first batch of its newly upgraded fire tenders. The commissioning ceremony, which took place in Abuja, marks the official rollout of eight fully modernized fire trucks as part of a broader initiative to upgrade 19 units across the service. Ogochukwu Mobuno has details.
Speaking at the event, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, described the feat as a demonstration of NFA's commitment to both national defense and humanitarian support. He says the fire tenders were upgraded through a comprehensive technical overhaul conducted by Messer Afrodesk Global Service Limited, an indigenous engineering firm. The upgrades incorporated higher capacity components and cutting-edge firefighting system designed to extend vehicle lifespan and significantly enhance operational efficiency. The Air Chief says the initiative includes the reactivation of the fire maintenance team across all Nigerian Air Force fire stations. This move is aimed at promoting a robust maintenance culture, enhancing technical capacity, and ensuring long-term functionality of critical emergency equipment. Air Marshal Abubakar further reaffirmed the NAF's enduring commitment to both military readiness and civil protection, tying the milestone to his overarching command philosophy. He also revealed that a key part of the ongoing safety reforms is a comprehensive overhaul of fire safety system and the development of a centralized monitoring framework. This, he said, is intended to improve compliance, enable early risk identification, and support evidence-based decision-making across the service. This development further illustrates the Nigerian Air Force's evolving strategy of combining operational effectiveness with community resilience and emergency preparedness.
And that's it on Global TV News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276, and free to air on NigerSat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.